hawu moya ongcwele sicela usivikele Nkosi yami vikela nangumntana amehlasela utikoloshe nangumntana amehlasela amadimoni moya ongcwele sicela usikelele Nkosi yami sicela usivikele Nkosi yami nakukonakala hawu abathakathi bayasebenza hawu sathane unamanga sathane. One Slimana day, after spending the entire day playing with my siblings and my friends at my aunt's place, I came back home exhausted. I was drained, ngangiyinhlabathi ngiyimvithi. Kwazise phela sasidlala yonke into ongayicabanga, wena skoped ibholo, wena magaloba, wena shumpu, wena sprite, amatshe, zothi. Ngabuya ngiyimvithi. So I decided, let me catch some Z's, let me take a young nap and then I'll wake up a bit later and take a bath or a shower just before Mom comes back because she had been working in a different city and I was expecting her to arrive around 8 p.m. that night, right? Ngithi ngithatha isihlwathi ugelo passed out straight walala amahora. Mom came back late that night. She came back around 11:30 something to 12, close to the AMs. Yo, mengene ekamereni uthi hayibo ngiyalingwa ngisehlane yini inyawo enje embedeni wami ufuna ukungcolisa upressless wami usuqale nini wena ukubuka uyodlala bese uyalala habogeza ngiphapha ngithi manje ngiyaxolisa bengithi ngithatha isihlwathi kanti nje ngendlela bengivithi ngingakhona ngavele ngayithola sengilala nje undendende. And she's like, ungisize mntanami ngicela nje uyongigezela upressless lo ungadlaleli kuona. Hayi nangempela ngihambe ngiyogeza. I'm bathing kumnandi. Yini leyo? I'm like, hayi mhlawumbe uma ubusy uya-arrange into zakhe. She just came back home, right? But ngiyayizwa lento ukuthi isound iphuma emnyango kahle. Hayi. My curiosity gets the best of me. I'm like, I need to see ukuthi kwenzakalani. Ngilunguze. I peep through the window. Mangithi nhla ama-crocs are pink. Ahamba wodwa. Akekho umuntu owagqokile. Akunamuntu. Ama-crocs are pink. Ayagcaluza egcekeni lasekhaya. I'm like, what in the world is going on? This is some supernatural-ish kwenzakalani. Angihayizanga kanje. Ma! Khona umuntu ohamba la egcekeni. Hayi uma gijima ze mina athi akwenze njani? Wonke umuntu ola ekhaya usebuyile nje ubalo ogcaluza egcekeni. Kithi mina ma uyayizwa leyo nto. Hey ngiyayizwa. Kithi mina isemnyango ma ama-crocs are pinky. Uma anyonyobe. Phela you need to approach with caution ke manje because you don't know what awaits. Angithi hayi. Anyonyobe uma athi ukulunguza ngewindi. Athothi ngilunguze nami. She peeps through the window and she says, mntanami angiboni lutho. Kodwa lezi ikhathi vele ikhathi eyibhedayo ithi ngikusheshise khona sizohamba siyolala. She finishes me off, angisule, sihambe siyolala. Mind you, I'm only 5 years old. Remember, I told you my memory is insane. Ngikhumbula every single thing. Ama details that are mind-blowing because you'd be like, hayibo, wawusayingane nje unikhumbula kanjani lento nje imemory yami nje injalo. I'm built like that. Hayi, sihambe siyolala. Ngiphaphami ngabo 3 because I just feel like kunomuntu ekamereni. Ngiphaphame ngabo 3 mangithi nhla ubhuti wami. How? Ubhuti wami ngalesikhathi. But also I'm excited because my brother had been boxing in a different city as well. He'd been preparing for this huge match that he had. So ubengekho isikhathi eside kade ngamgcina. I had been missing him for the longest time. And if you know us, you know that's my bestie, go best friend. You know what I mean? So to protect his identity, ngizombiza ngosifiso. Ngithi mina Sifiso. Hawe ma uSifiso sebuyile ngithi ngiyaphuma embedeni ngiyomhaga phela uSifiso ubhuti wami. Umhaza like mazathi ukhuluma noba. I'm like ma uSifiso nangu nje umboni yini. Athi uSifiso akekho nje lana usendaweni ukuthi nokuthi akwazi ukuthi kunosifiso lana. Mazathi ukhuluma noba ngithi ma nangu uSifiso umi ngasesicabheni. athi uManhla akukho umuntu esicabheni mazethe. Oh kodwa moya ongcwele. Oh kodwa ishingishani zomoya. Oh indlondlo. Oh bondlanza bahle. Oh bomangethe bontsha shongcela nisivikela. Hawu mvela inqangi. Nakhu sivelelwe ibhadi. Nakhu singenelwe inkomo endlini. Hawu moya ongcwele. Sicela usivikele Nkosi yami ivikele nangumntana mehlaselwe utikoloshe. Nangumntana mehlaselwe amadimoni. Oh moya ongcwele sicela usikelele Nkosi yami. Sicela usivikele Nkosi yami nakukonakala. Hawu abathakathi bayasebenza. Hawu Sathane. Hawu Sathane unamanga. Sathane! Umanja. I'm like, Ma, how dare you do that? Uxosha isifiso. Uxosha ingane yakho. Wathi uma akunasifiso la mazethi buka isikhathi. She takes her phone and khombisa isikhathi. It's 3:03 in the morning. I'm like, hayibo. Ngalesi sikhathi siqeda kuzwa ama-clocks ngabo 12 ekuseni. Sekuvumbuka usifiso ngo-3. It's getting weird. It's getting weird.
It's getting weird.
Hayi umaqhubeka thandaze. I'm skeptical ke manje. I don't know what to believe. I don't know who to believe because usifiso ngiyambona mina but uma akamboni. And ekugcineni this is my mom. Ekugcineni this is my mom and moms are always right. My mom's always been right about everything she said to me, everything she's ever told me nje. Even nje before izinto zenzeke elifini, even before ngikhule, there are certain things she would tell me ngisemncane and I wouldn't believe them, or I'd be like, hey uma akafuni nje ngi-enjoy izinto ezimnandi zasemhlabeni. And then as you grow older you realize ukuthi yo, moms was right though. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, othi ngikhuluma because vele it is getting weird. Hayi nangempela ngiyambona uSifiso. uSifiso was actually approaching me and he's smiling, you know? So kuyangidida lokho because I'm like, uma's casting this thing away, this demon or this tikoloshe away, but then ubhuti wami mina ngiyambona and uyasondela uza kumina uyasmile. But into exakayo akakhulumi. And ubhuti wami ubengeka ngakhulumi sibonana because mesibonana siyaphaphelana senza into zethu ngendlela yethu. But I'm like, lento ayikhulumi. Ngithi ngisabathe ngithi hawu Sifiso unjani wazongihaka but he's just like in a creepy way yabo akasakhule kuma shandara bantu batakatsa right? And then I see uSifiso ejika and then slowly aphindele esicabheni. Into eyisimangaliso engaze ngiyibona empilweni yami yonke yenzeka. Wanyamalala uSifiso. It was as if he vanished. Kodwa engathi like uhamba through the door, uphuma through the door. Not ukuthi uyavula umnyango, umnyango ukhiwe. Not ukuthi uyavula uyaphuma uyawuvala. No. Uphuma through the door, uyavanisha through the door. I'm like, yo. Hayi asazi isimanga sento. And indlela engavele ngazumeka ngayo after that incident was insane. Indlela engakazi ngizumeke ngayo ever. Uzubona ukuthi kwakunezinto ezi-supernatural ezenzakalayo. Ngilale zwi. Mangiphaphama ngabo 7 ngithi nhla. Uma uhleli ngezinqakalele and ngathi akaza lali. I'm like, "Hawu mawusuphapheme ngalesikhathi fanele ngabe siyaphumula iweekend." Uthe mntanami angikaze ngilale. Ngiloke ngiyakhuleka ngishawa uvalo luyisimanga ngoba ngiyabona ukuthi hayi abathakathi babhizi. Hayi uSathana kalali. Kithi mase kwenze njani uthe mntanami ubuhleka ubusuku bonke ubukhuluma ubusuku bonke ubukhahlela ubusuku bonke ugigitheka. I was praying over you. I was watching over you. I was praying over this home. Igceke lethu umndeni wethu ukuthi sicela iprotection because nawa amadimoni ehlasele elwa eza ngamandla. And I was stunned. Wathi umaye mntanami semhlabeni la mntanami, and as much as umncane ngifisa ukuthi uqhubeke uphile impilo emsulwa ube innocent ungazazi ezinye izinto ezenzeke emhlabeni, but it's so important ukuthi uzazi because we are fighting a spiritual battle. That is why I always tell you ukuthi ungalenzi iphutha ulale ungakhulekile. Ungalenzi iphutha uqale usuku lakho ungakhulekile because sisempini mntanami. Cela umveli inqangi akuvikele akusikelele ngaso sonke isikhathi. Cela ingelosi zethu ezinhle ezimhlophe qwa ezisikhanyiselayo ezisiphendlela amadlelo ahlaza ukuthi zibe nawe ngaso sonke isikhathi ngoba kuyaliwa la emhlabeni kubi. It's a cold world my baby. Later that day we call uSifiso and we let him know what had happened. I'm like, hayibo Sifiso ngikubonile mina ekseni kwenze ukuthi kanje athi uSifiso oho mntakama chances are bayanisebenza. It could be ukuthi ubungicabanga wangikhumbula mhlambe wangiphupha uthi uma ubengaphuphi benginaye kwenzeka ukuthi nokuthatha kuyonisiza ukuthi niqinise emkhulekweni ngilokhu ngiyila mina futhi bengizobe ngiyaphi ngabo 3 nakhona angizivuli isicabha ngizivali ngivele nje nje I just appear dum dum. There's no way. Qinisani emkhulekweni mndeni wami kubi. And not to force my beliefs down anybody's throat. But nangempela bafethu abantu bayathakatha. There are unhappy people out there. There are miserable people out there who are willing to do whatever it takes. Badele ubuthongo, badele izimali, badele zonke ezinye izinto ezibalekile just to make sure ukuthi bakrasha abanye abantu bayabacindezela ukuze bezoba miserable njengabo or even worse. Whether you believe in lezi zinto or not, mina ngiyakutshela ke ukuthi zikhona. One thing you need to remember is that if there is good, then there is evil. If there is light, there is darkness. If you believe in God and angels, then trust and believe that there are powers and forces that oppose those godly forces or those positive energies. And that is why it is crucial. It is of utmost importance for every single person to protect themselves, to protect their families, be it by umkhuleko, be it by ukuphahla, be it by ukugeza ngezinto zakho ezimhlophe qwa owaziyo ukuthi zizogcina imoya emibi le at bay. Because isikhathi esiningi soniwa futhi sisetshenzwa abantu esondelene nabo. It could have been anyone owayebhizi nathi ngalo babusuku. Could have been a friend, a family member, a colleague, umuntu othize wasekhaya. It could have been anybody. So protect yourselves, bafere. And I don't want you to have trust issues, but it's important to be woke. I want you to be woke, and I want you to realize that everything isn't always as it seems. Mina nginomngani engibonayo ukuthi friendship yethu isiphelile. Friendship yethu isiphelile because whenever we get together and we talk about the good and the positive things that are happening in our lives, particularly mina, the energy shifts. And that's one thing people don't seem to understand or know about me. Ukuthi I can discern. I have the power of discernment. Ukuthi ngibone ukuthi yazini lo muntu ngithanda ngokweqiniso. Lo muntu really F's with me. Lo muntu really wishes me well. I also have the power or the ability to discern ukuthi this dynamic has changed. Yeah, you used to be my friend. We used to be tight like sisters. How we used to call each other sisters. But it's gotten to a point where now I feel like you are competing with me. Whenever somebody compliments me, whenever somebody congratulates me, engade ngiyenza or engiqeda ukuyenza or abazwe ukuthi ngiyayenza le enhle empilweni yami, shintsha umoya. Mngani nami njalo loyo. Sikhuluma ngezinto ezinhle, ngama future plans. Uyambona ukuthi uyanyanya. And the crazy part is I observe ngaso sonke isikhathi and I keep holding on to this person because uba naleyo nto yokuthi oh my gosh siphuma kude nalo muntu. I love this person like a sister. I love this person so much. I'm probably being paranoid. And then God and my ancestors are like, okay, so khombisa futhi. Githi ngisabathe bathi oh uyaphikisa. Ufuna zakugile. Me. Again and again and again. And ngiyayiphikisa lento because I don't want to believe that about them. I want to believe that they are still that beautiful, kind-hearted person ongenamona ongifisela okuhle njengoba nami ngimfisela okuhle. But one thing we also need to realize as human beings is that kunama chapters empilweni. We were meant to be friends ngesikhathi sase high school. That was a chapter okwakufanele ukuthi sidlule kuyona sigqibe mhla siqeda high school and then move forward. But now we have this tendency to want to stay connected or to cling on to people that have been in our lives for the longest time, regardless of the fact that we now see them for who they truly are. Or maybe they have evolved into people that are now vicious, now jealous, now envious, because things may not be working out the way they wish they could have worked out for them. but they're working out super well for you, and you happen to be younger than them, so they're like placing a timeline on impilo zabo ne-success yabo, and they're like, hayibo ngimdala kunosibani ingane lena, why yenza kangcono kunami? Because such things have been uttered. I've been told by certain people, but I didn't want to address it. I didn't want to believe it because I want to give this person the benefit of the doubt. And angali, jealousy, envy, all of these are natural emotions that we feel as human beings. But just as I mentioned in my previous video, once you let these negative emotions overpower you or overshadow the positive ones, that's when you become umthakathi zikhulekele. I do that for myself. Whenever I feel like sengiyazikhomparisha nosibani. Comparison is the thief of joy. And manje I'm stressing ukuthi angikho kule level kufanele ngibe kuyona. Hayibo sibani sisuke endaweni yokuthi naye we were doing the same thing around the same time. Why yena yakhe isheshe yenzeka while mina ngisafukuza? It's natural. Umuntu and sonke we want to succeed and prosper. But then you start comparing yourself and then you start feeling envy. Uyaqala uba nomona. Uyaqala uyanyanya. Mekuthiwa usibani usephinde wenza ukuthi mina zami izinto engakahlangani. So I pray about such things. Ngicele kumvela inqangi emathongeni ami ukuthi hayibo ngicela nihlanze inhliziyo yami nakwenzeka ukuthi angiyena nje lo muntu mina. I'm a positive person. I wish everybody well. I want everybody to succeed and be happy and fulfill all their dreams. That's my wish for wonke umuntu emhlabeni wonke jikelele, especially abantu abafana nami. So the minute you let umona take over, the minute you let ama negative emotions take over, overpower lawa mahle, beka isandla esifubeni uthi sengi-5 umthakathi or sengumthakathi ngicela i-deliverance. And people tend to associate witchcraft with imithi, with ukugida-gida ney'mfene phezu kwemizi yabantu, with poking needles into chickens and voodoo dolls, the works. Kanti cha, ubuthakathi comes in many different forms. Ngokusabotaja omunye umuntu, ngokucabanga kabi ngomunye umuntu, ngokufisa into yomunye umuntu, to the point where wenza noma yini esemandleni akho yokuthi uthole exactly lento yalowo omunye umuntu ngoba unalokho ukuthi ngiyangihlula usibani mina. Noma wenza noma yini ongayenza ukuze umcekele phansi angayitholi leyo nto noma ayiluze into ethize ayifunayo. Athi ukhuluma nawe umngane akho ethe yazi chomi, ngicabanga ukuqala ibhizinisi elukuthi nokuthi, ngicabanga ukuthenga ukuthi nokuthi, ngicabanga ukuthuthukisa kanje ekhaya. Suyahamba wena. Uyokhuleka ekhoneni lakho, block lawo ma blessings, ublock leyo umcabango yamngane akho emihle. Suyanyanya wena, uyanxapha. Awunthi uyini lo, awunthi uzohlula mina. Yindaba yini senemcabango emihle kangaka nokwenza izinto ezinkulu kangaka. Ngisho limini. Ulimi liyadala. Uthi yini wenza ukuthi uyitshela ukuthi wena uzokwazi ukuyithengela umuzi thina sihlulekile. Thakathi lobo. It comes in many different ways or forms. The minute ufila emotion negative, usu-5 being umthakathi. Umuntu athi ayisikhathele nina lo yini siyanaka sinomona ngani. Asinandaba nani thina siphila impilo zethu, siphila lives zethu, sibhizi kabi. The fact that ikuthintile leyo nto lo mcabango walowo muntu othi hayi ngiyamsola usibani ngathi kunomonanyana laphayana means ukuthi your heart isn't in the right place, because if wena kumfisela okuhle ngaba uthinteki. Kube khona abantu who are constantly saying yazi kunabantu nje who are so narcissistic, who are always thinking people are out to get them, who are always thinking ukuthi people are jealous of them, blah blah. Bakhohle ukuthi our experiences are different. It's not for you to minimize other people's experiences. You've never been in their shoes. You don't know what they get to go through. And you're lucky, you're blessed if you've never had relatives, friends, neighbors, strangers, colleagues, whomever come for you. You're blessed, siyakubongela. But isikhuluma ngama experiences ethu, and you're not about to minimize them, you're not about to diminish them, you're not about to say they are false simply because you haven't experienced that. But also, if you've never had a hater or some kind of target on your back, ever, ngathi ngisho ingane ezincane ziba nomona. If you've never experienced that, chances are you're not doing much, sweetie. Asifani siyabantu, that's another thing you need to remember. The power that I possess, the talents that I possess, the path engihamba kuyona is highly likely to attract demons. Gang demons. Because I'm different. I'm unique. I'm a different breed, and bayabona my light. Bayabona my potential. Bayabona ukuthi nangu umuntu ezakabi. If you're okay with being mediocre or staying stagnant, then sharp, siyakubongela, that's for you, it isn't for me. But with each level umuntu aya kuyona, more progress, you're bound to attract amademon. Because ekugcineni abantu abathanda ukuhlulwa. Abantu abathanda ukuhlulwa, we are competitive beings, and it gets to a point where you're like, hayi bona kungihlulwa usibani. And sometimes competition is healthy because iyakugqugquzela ikuphushe ukuthi usebenze now, because nangu usibani is doing well. Clearly, it's possible I can do it as well. But no, you see it ngendlela ebhedayo wena. And then you start competing. And then you start implying ukuthi uyi-slay queen lo. Une-blesser or unama-blesser, there's no way that she's capable of doing all of this on her own. Because you feel ukuthi, how? Why engihlula? And yebo, there are people who get paranoid and constantly think that other people are out to get them. Yebo, there are people like that. But there's also a reason for that. Or there's a reason behind laoma feelings. It be your own people, kakarat. And this person is the first to view everything that I do. My statuses, ini. And as shallow or as petty as you may think this is, she won't like my posts. She won't say, hayi bongibona into ukuthi enhle, hawe macho, mingaze ngakujabulela. Oh, well done, usuwenza ukuthi, just like I do kuyena ngaso sonke isikhathi. And that's the thing with me. Reciprocation is a huge thing kumina. Because I treat people the way I want to be treated. So it would be nice to get that in return. It's not asking for much. It's not that I'm being a good person expecting ukuthi wonke omunye umuntu naye fanele abe. And I hate this thing that people constantly assert yokuthi iba nje umuntu oright unga-expect ukuthi abanye abantu bakwenzele the same thing obenzela yona. Nah, I'm tired. I'm tired of people getting away with being messed up and not returning ama energies that we give them as good people. Fanele sihlalele leyo nto thina. So hayi yenza okuhle by others, just do right by others because it's the right thing to do. Absolutely. But I expect the same. Because now, if kuyimina who's constantly giving and giving, konke kuhle, but wena ngiyabona ukuthi sekunama dodgy vibes, sekushaky, sekushady, fanele ngihlalele leyo nto mina. So nje bafethu, protect yourselves. Pray for the ability to discern between good and evil. Pray ukuthi ukwazi futhi ukudedela, to let go of izinto and people that no longer serve you and that are no longer meant to be in your life. Because the more ubambelela entweni nakubantu abangasadingeki empilweni yakho nakwi-chapter le okuyona, awukwazi uku-elevate, bayakuvimba. Babloke ama-blessings akho, bakulimaze futhi, because you're holding on to something you're supposed to be letting go of, that you were supposed to have let go of ages ago. Why? Because unenhliziyo enhle emsulwa, uthanda bonke abantu, you want to maintain strong bonds, and you overlook the fact that yonke into inesikhathi sayo. It's okay to let go. There are always signs ezikutshelayo ukuthi sekuright, move on. And as painful and as difficult as it may be, it is very necessary. Because it is dangerous not to listen to those voices and not to take those signs seriously. Trust me, I know. I have stories for decades. You would swear ukuthi sengiphile angazi impilo isikhathi esingakanani, impilo engakanani, because I've had experiences that left me just. And that is why I'm here, to share these experiences with you guys so that you don't make the same mistakes as Mina. So that you feel empowered, so that you can relate to ukuthi sometimes uyitshela ukuthi wenza okuhle kanti uyazilimaza. Sometimes ukuba humble nokuba kind nokufuna ipeace kwakho actually attracts ukudeleleka, uyanyeleka, because abantu think you're weak, you stupid.
Dumb, stupid.
Kanti cha, inhliziyo yakho nje imhlophe. You are a godly being with positive energy and you want to spread that. Unfortunately, not everybody is like that. And not everybody is supposed to remain in your life forever. So be careful. Ibanwash. Ibanwash.
Your face. In that zone. Peso disparaparen. Ni moyen? Nzwe? In that zone. Banwashi. Banwash. Banwash.